What's up, y'all? We are here with another episode of Culture Minute. We have some great topics for you this week. I am Gentel, Sharrie.
I'm Sarina, Renee, media host, One Stop Shop. I'm a writer, actor, all the good stuff out here trying to do the thing in LA.
It's your boy King Jaquel, Martin, award-winning director, award-winning actor. We out here, man. We about to have some fun. You feel me?
We're about to have some fun indeed. And right now is a special time of year. It is February. It is Black History Month. It is the culture right now. What's always the culture? 365 days out, the season, the year. But just, fun fact about Black History Month, Carter G. Woodson, he basically founded Black History Month that started in 1926 when he came up with Negro History Week. His parents were enslaved, so he saw it firsthand, how everything was happening back in the day. And actually, they put it in February because Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln, their birthdays were both in February. So that's one reason why it started in February. So, I mean, we've come a long way since then, but we still have so much more to go. We're still getting killings. We're still being treated with like injustice. But as we we need to support each other, continue to protest, and continue to celebrate culture and stand together. So I'm happy to celebrate Black history with you guys.
Hey.
Absolutely, absolutely. First and foremost, happy our people made this country month. Okay, that's what we gonna say.
Yeah, talk your talk.
Oh my gosh. So yes, I just found out about Mr. Woodson that you just talked about earlier when you sent us over the history of Black History Month. And it's just so amazing that, we have come such a long way, but we also have more work to be done as well. You understand? So I'm super excited. February is because, of the former president and everything like that. I thought because we was Black, they gave us the shortest month. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
I know it's a lot of Black people that thought that too. But anywho, I think what we should do is celebrate with excellence. I know this year has started off with a lot of turmoil in our community. And, I just want to tell the people, just for this month, can we all just get along? Just can we all just get along? It's Black History Month.
For me, Black History Month is everything because I believe we make history every day that we wake up, right? And I hate how sometimes we just frame it to just a month, but I just always want to make sure that I honor everybody that was an ancestor with how I behave today. Because the freedoms that I have today come from the sacrifices of yesterday. And I think sometimes we're so far away from yesterday that we don't appreciate the sacrifices people made. So I always say, how can we be so comfortable with the comforts that we have if the comforts that we have come from the bloodstains of others? So I never want us to forget that people have died, burned at the stake, water holes, all the different things that we've been through to allow us to have the freedoms today. And the question is, how will we honor them and create a better future for those who come out after us?
Absolutely. I definitely agree with what you're saying in reference to, honoring our ancestors, blood, sweat, tears. They sacrificed so much for us to be where we are today. And sometimes I feel like the way that we as a Black community handle certain things like a slap in their face, because a lot of times, we have opportunities to pursue things and, be the best that we can be, and sometimes we don't, go forth towards that because we feel like, oh, society is going to talk about you this way, or, I don't want to say like the white man, but at the end of the day, it's a system. I mean, it's the truth, but it's like a systemic, situation to where it embedded into our minds that we cannot reach our potential. We can't reach the stars. And I just encourage everybody today and going forward as a Black American, pursue everything that you have within you. Like King said earlier, our ancestors didn't die. They didn't get hung. They didn't get lynched, and all type of stuff for us to not go 100%, 110%. So keep that in mind. Let's stop fighting each other. Let's stop killing each other, and let's love on each other, man. If you see your sister out or whatever, and she looking nice, hey, you look real good. Big her up. If you see your homeboy out or a black man out, doing his thing, big him up. It don't cost you nothing.
Don't cost nothing to give.
Yeah.
And we always talk about how our ancestors are in heaven, right?
Yeah.
So heaven is watching us. What type of show are we putting on? And is it something that we would actually be proud of? And so when you're talking about giving everybody their roses, I think we got to get back to learning how to love ourselves. I feel like we got to get back to self-love and be unplugged from the system, because the system will tell you to hate yourself, will tell you to hate your black skin, will tell you that you're not worthy, will tell you that you can't achieve. But when you have self-love, we can make room to love someone else. So once I learn how to love me, I can love my girlfriend, my wife, my children, and everyone becomes an extension of that love when I know how to love me.
I love that.
Yes, for sure. We got to love ourselves. We got to love our community, because if we stick together, we can continue to grow together. We did lose a great icon recently, Carl Weathers. He died at the age of 76 on February 1st in his home. Legend. He was the original Apollo Creed in the first Rocky movie. He was even doing stuff in Toy Story, stuff with Adam Sandler. I mean, we've seen him throughout his whole entire career, and I just want to send my condolences to his family, and pray that they make it through this time.
Yeah. May he rest in power and love. Shout out to Sylvester Stallone for actually, continuously giving him his roses. He talked about the impact that he made on his life beyond just being a part of Rocky, but just as a person, the impact that he made on his family. And most people don't even know that he played in the NFL. So I just appreciate him being more than just what they would call a dumb jock or someone they would tell to shut up and dribble. He was actually a trailblazer. He's actually a legend. And I pray that we are able to carry his legacy, his light way further than what he did, because you got to think about it, 76. So imagine when he was 21 and what the world was like during that time and the different challenges that he's been through. We're not going through the same thing, even though we're still oppressed in a certain type of way. But if we have more freedom, more opportunities to create, why not do that? So I just want to continue carrying on his torch.
Absolutely. Condolences to him and his family. He was a trailblazer in so many ways, from being an actor to an activist to playing in the NFL. A lot of times people stay on one lane. But when you are gifted and you understand your purpose and you're tapping into those things, it's just amazing. Because like Sylvester Stallone said, he touched not only my life, but my family life. You don't know how many people this guy impacted positively because he followed his purpose. He did what was embedded in him. And that's go back to what I was saying earlier, about our ancestors, just tying it all in together, just going 100%. All your visions, your aspirations and goals, doing it. And I'm so grateful that we had a living legend at the time to show us the way and how to get it done.
And, you got to shout out Michael B. Jordan for even carrying that legacy on with the Creed series. 1, 2, and 3 was based off of, Apollo Creed being his father. So Carl Weathers, for those who don't know, actually played Apollo in that. And that's what created the whole Creed series. So shout out to Michael B. Jordan for also carrying on that legacy and that name of just his body of work. So, you got to give props to those who are being a blessing to others as well. So shout out to Michael B.
Yes. Shout out to him, and shout out to Nia Long. She is booked and busy. She stays booked and busy. She just booked the Michael Jackson biopic. She's going to be playing Michael Jackson's mother, Katherine Jackson. I know she's going to kill this role. Every role she plays, she's phenomenal. We've seen her in Big Mama's House. We've seen her in Empire, The Best Man, and it goes on and on. You people. Nia Long is a legend. I did hear that Michael Jackson's nephew, Joe Jackson's son, is playing Michael in the movie. So that should be cool. So he's going to definitely be living that family legacy out on screen, playing his uncle.
That is dope. I remember seeing, I forgot his name, the nephew, but I remember seeing an interview and I was like, just his mannerisms, the way he speaks, he did remind me of Michael. And it's just crazy to hear now that he's going to be portraying his uncle. Nia Long has been an amazing actress throughout the years. And I've also looked up to her because of how she carried herself in the industry. I'm excited chose her to be Katherine Jackson because she about to kill it. I know she's going to kill it, and I cannot wait to see this movie. I'm happy that the Jackson family is able to have another movie that showcased their life and the things that they've been through from a different perspective. So shout out to the producers, directors, and everybody that's involved in this film.
Yeah, sometimes when you do biopics, people don't get it right. But I do believe they cast the right person to play his mother. She has been in this game a long time. She has represented Black women in such an amazing way. I just appreciate her legacy and her as an actress. And shout out to the nephew, because playing Michael is almost kind of like playing Tupac. It's a really hard role to play because everyone already has their ideology of how they see this person. And it's very hard to live up to that standard. So if it was hard to live up to Pac, imagine what it's like to live up to the king of pop, Michael Jackson, where people couldn't even say his name. They'd be like, Mama, Michael, and pass out. You know what I'm saying? Mike was worldwide, you know what I'm saying? So his impact to be that face, you know what I mean, is a lot of pressure. So I just pray that God gives him the confidence and allows him to just perform it to the best of his abilities, so that way we can all enjoy this biopic about Mike.
Yes, yes. And I am glad that his family is doing, they have their hands in it, because I know it's going to be done the right way. Sometimes we have movies where people aren't even like a part of the family, where they, create things and they don't get the right message out. So I know it's going to be to a T once we see what they're cooking up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, we're going to get into some more topics. And we are back. Shout out to our proud sponsors, 24/7 Live Culture. Our next topic is self-sabotage, getting in your own way of love. Now, a lot of people get in relationships because they want relationships, but are people really ready for the relationships? I think sometimes with me, I'm not in a relationship, but I feel like sometimes things that I have dealt with in the past, which hasn't been a lot, but I feel like I bring those things not into the relationship, but it makes me afraid of being in a relationship, because I think of what has happened to me in the past. Is this person going to be the same way? Are they going to lie? Are they going to play games? Is their energy going to change? So I think that's one thing where I might sabotage things. And I think I sabotage with maybe picking the wrong people. Maybe I should pick the people who actually genuinely want me, instead of the people who I know don't really want me, if that makes sense. But there's so many things of self-sabotaging, and I know I need to work on things I know my worth. I know with rejection and stuff, but I think sometimes I might get in my own way of just thinking of things that happened in the past.
Yeah. So I want to talk about, relationship PTSD, because that's something that's real.
Say that again. What you said that was called?
Relationship PTSD is real, and we don't talk about. You have things from domestic violence to mental abuse, verbal abuse, all type of things, right? And sometimes I can say for me, because I was married for 5 years, and it was I survived domestic violence. Let's just put it right there, because it's a long story. But Yeah, so it was a domestic violence situation, and I have relationship PTSD. So when people try to come date me, it's like I have my wall all the way up to heaven, right? And it takes a special person to break that down, only because I'm dating different. I'm dating because when I was dating this guy, the guy that I got married to, I was younger. You know, I saw the signs, but I didn't pay attention. And my dumb behind, oh, he'll change when we get married. Nope. But see, you learn, those are things that you learn from being a young person in your 20s to a seasoned person, right? So I'm dating different. I'm taking my time. If I see a sign, red flag, I'm out. I'm not going to give you no second chance. Why? Why should I? You understand? Because what Maya Angelou say, she said, if a person show you who they are the first time, believe them. You know? And I saw him, my ex-husband, for who he was, but I didn't believe it. You know, I was like, okay, he's gonna change. Yeah, whatever. You know, he's an evangelist at the church, and you know, people at the church be like, oh, he's a man of God and all this stuff like that. What does that even mean? You know, and a lot of times you have people in your ear about a relationship they don't even know, and they can push you into something that's not even for you. God didn't ordain that. You understand what I'm saying? So not only is it, you know, what you think in your mind and what your experiences are, it's also your circle of people. If I'm dating somebody now, nobody's going to know about who I'm dating, because I don't need you in my head. I don't need you saying, oh, well, you good because I would have did this. No, every situation is different.
Yeah.
If my dude working,
Until when would you release it though? Like
I release it when I know that when he comes to me and be like, hey, would you be my girl?
Got you. When it's like official.
It's official.
Like a ring official, or like you my girl?
I mean, I would say when he asked me to be his girl, right? Because now you're opening up the door to my friendships, right?
Yeah.
Then from that point, my friends and family need to make sure, are you marriage material at that point, right? So it's safe. So that's how I see it.
That's dope. I think you hit on a key point.
But I forgot. I'll come back to it later.
I think we hit on a key point when you talked about your growth from how you were in your 20s to how you are now. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes we don't consider this, that we can become our own biggest enemies. And our biggest enemy can be enemy, our INNER, right? From our childhood traumas, from how our parents showed us things because they had flaws, or if you even had a parent there to show you anything, right? It's amazing how we forget that we train a person how to treat us in a relationship based off of what we say yes and no to. It's amazing how we bet on potential instead of just understanding what's right in front of us. And it's the hope that someone will change. It's the hope that someone will be different, and instead of accepting what's right in front of us, or how we ignore different red flags. I remember, because I've been divorced, so I've been through it. I remember my mother asked me a question when I was in a relationship. And she said, when did you stop loving you? See, you love the relationship so much, and you love the person so much that person grew, but you became stagnant. So it made me think about the cup half empty, half full. And a lot of times when you're in a relationship, you pour what's in your cup into the other cup, and then your cup is empty. But then when your cup is empty, you're angry, you're frustrated, and everything else. And that's what you're not supposed to do, from my opinion. My opinion is you're supposed to allow your cup to overflow and allow people to get the overflow of your cup instead of giving your whole heart wholeheartedly, if you understand what I'm saying. Because when you give yourself so much and you don't leave anything for your own self-love, anything can set you off. So I think sometimes we have to understand how to create stronger boundaries of what we want and what we don't want. And the key thing in a relationship that I don't think nobody ever talk about is, how do we solve problems together?
Absolutely.
Conflict resolution. I mean, you can look good, you know what I'm saying? You can look good and all that. But if I don't know how to solve a regular problem with you, if we can't just talk and every situation becomes so toxic where it's just all emotions and we're yelling and screaming at each other, is that really healthy? And has toxic become the new healthy?
Right.
We become so comfortable in toxic situations that we don't even know what healthy looks like anymore. And when we get healthy, we don't even know how to act healthy because we've never taken the time to heal from what you called relationship PTSD from our old self. So I think sometimes, like Gentel said, it's okay to be single. It's
Yeah.
okay to marinate, to get to know you, to figure out what you like, what you don't like, to date, to see how people carry themselves, and to see who you are. Because sometimes we change who we are based off the person who we think that we're with.
Yeah.
I watch Married at First Sight, and I watch like a lot of dating shows. I don't know, that's just what I've been watching lately. It's just been very intriguing. And what I don't understand is with Married at First Sight, I'm just kind of saying this, but they know they had never seen the person before. They see him, they get into this marriage, and it's like they don't want to compromise. They're not really ready for the big end goal. And I get confused. I'm like, are people just hopping in relationships, just wanting it and not being ready and not ready to compromise, not ready to like figure their partner out? It's just, I don't really understand.
Yeah.
I don't really understand.
Well, I just wanted to point out something that King said, and I definitely agree with you, Gentel. You know, if you're getting into something, you need to have some type of compromise. You know, everything is not going to be peachy and cream. You're going to go through your honeymoon stage, and then that stuff going to die down or whatever. It always happens, but it's how you transition to that. But I do want to point out something that King said about how, you have all these arguments in a relationship and there's no real communication. A lot of people be like, communication is key in a relationship. But I like to say comprehension is key, because it's a lot of people out there that can't even comprehend what I'm saying.
I
can be saying something that's like black and freaking white. You understand?
Yeah.
And you can't even fathom what I'm saying because your attention is off. So that's something else that you need to evaluate in your relationship. Can this person comprehend what I am saying out of my mouth?
Yeah. I feel like I gave you a formula when it came to that, right? I'm going to mess y'all up. Check this out. Exclusive. Hearing plus listening times understanding to the second power of action will lead to a change in your life. I'm going to say it one more time. Hearing plus listening times understanding to the second power of action will lead to a change in life. So what do you mean by that, King? When you're in a conversation with your person that you're with, are you really listening or are you hearing yourself? Mm-hmm. Right? And then if you are hearing, are you willing to understand what they said? Not from your viewpoint. So, because sometimes we understand it and then we deflect, or we understand it to argue, or we understand it so that way we can try to get our point across so we can actually be right instead of actually understanding the other person's feelings and how it makes them feel. Because we're only worried about our feelings in that moment, right? And then if you understand it, will you apply what you understood? Because somebody can tell you something, but if you're not applying what they told you, then what good did it mean to know? Right?
Yeah.
And then apply it, what actions will you take? Because now you're getting something different, because they say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
Right.
And something's going to change.
Yeah. I wanted to point out one last thing because I know we have to move on, but, a lot of times people go into relationships and just think everything is going to be 100%, right? But you have to go in knowing, hey, I'm straight too. And a lot of people finna hate me for what I'm about to say. When I say I'm straight, women go into a relationship because a man is wealthy, right? Or they have money, right?
Yeah.
But women, we have to have our own stuff too. Because at the end of the day, where you going, King?
Thank you, Jesus. I'm so happy you said it. Thank you.
At the end of the day, if your man has a situation to where y'all lost everything, who he gonna fall back on?
Hello?
Who he gonna fall back on? You can't be around here dumb, don't know how to hustle, ain't got your own money, ain't got your own place, ain't got no savings, none of that. And then talking about wanting to get in a relationship, you have to make sure you 100% not only mentally ready, financially ready, and spiritually ready at the same time.
Look, they finna cancel you for telling the truth. You better stop telling the truth.
Hey, you heard her first.
Oh, okay, hey, ladies, I want to say something, fellas. Y'all might be with me on this one, right? I would take a little shorty out on a date, and she says, "I'm used to a guy paying for the first 5 days."
First, how many?
5. I said, "Wait, how you know we're gonna go on
Never
a
heard
second
of
date?"
5, mate.
Right? So
Not
I wanted to, so I wanted to mess with her a little bit, right? I said, "Okay, cool. I ain't got no problem with paying for the first 5 days because I'm used to having sex on the first 5 days too." She said, "She said, how could you treat me like that?" I said, "How could you treat me like that? I am not your ATM." There's a difference between expectations and appreciation. Now, I didn't mind paying for the day. That's what I'm supposed to do as a gentleman, right? I don't mind doing that. But if you don't appreciate the fact that I want to do this for you, if there's no thank you or anything, not that you owe me something from the day, but if there's no I appreciate the situation, then what is this, a business transaction?
Yeah. I think as a woman, of course we're expecting the man to pay, but also be ready to pay in case he don't pay. Like, just have that. You don't have to like speak on and be like, oh, I expect you to pay. Just like, if he decides to go half, just go half. And if that's not the way you want to roll, don't go out with him the next time.
Well, no, I'm saying appreciate it though. You feel me? If I open up your door, a thank you doesn't go a long way. Or you reaching across and opening or unlocking my door. You know what I'm saying? Let it be a mutual energy exchange of I'm giving and we're both giving, and you're just not just sucking my energy away for your own benefits.
No, I agree. It should definitely be appreciation for sure, because like that's being a gentleman, that's being a king. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like
of course.
You should definitely appreciate and be grateful if that's happening, especially opening the door, because you don't see that a lot nowadays. And opening the door for you.
I think that nowadays social media has demolished relationships. You understand? I saw an article where the World Health Organization had declared a state of emergency because of loneliness. That is insane. And I actually blame the government for that. And this is the reason why. You put women against women. You put men against men. You put black women against black women. You put white women against white women. You see what I'm saying? Then now all of a sudden you're saying, oh, we have an epidemic of loneliness. But you guys create narratives.
Yeah, right. And then social media has removed, you know what I'm saying, human touch, human conversation, because everything's online. So we're rare to be in each other's presence. Kids don't want to go outside and play. So we don't really have a lot of human interaction or connection, which creates the loneliness.
Right. And what I was going to say earlier before I had forgot, a lot of times people think that, when they go into a relationship, dang, I lost it again. It was a really good point. It was in reference to how a lot of people go into relationships and think that you have to, oh my gosh, I'm going to get back to it. But it was really
Can we just be honest in 2024? Can we be honest about what we want, or honest about our expectations? Yes, clarity instead of the representative that we want you to think that I am, because eventually the representative is going to go away. Can we just get to some honesty? Hey, this is what I want. This is what I view. Because fellas, let me tell you something. Women actually really respect you more when you can just be honest. That way you're not robbing her of the decision of if she wants to deal with you or not. My bad, it's just a little joke.
No, literally, just be honest. And if you don't really want me that way, don't even pursue me. Just get out of my face. Like, because it's just no point. It's just no point. I'm just really tired of guys. And it's not everybody. I'm just saying the particular guys thinking they're interested in you. And then when things kind of get serious and they're like, oh, what are we doing? Oh, we're just friends, but you wasn't treating me like a friend.
Right.
And like, we wasn't doing, you know what I'm saying? It's just like
all the relationship stuff. Yeah.
And that's why I self-sabotage with love, because it's always a game. It's always some type of little game. And I'm tired of playing the game. Should I play a game with life every day? I ain't got time to be playing games with you.
Hey, let me tell y'all something. Let me teach y'all a secret. Tell somebody no. You can see who a person is when you actually start telling them no. Your no is actually stronger than your yes. Because if you keep saying no, right? Respectfully, you ain't got to be ugly or nasty or whatever else. you'll see how much a person really wants you when they can't have it. You stop.
That's true.
Well,
I forgot my point, but it was real good. If I remember it, I'm going to post it under my caption on this segment.
Yes. Well, y'all, I know y'all be seeing Joe Budden over here being these memes out in the streets. He got into it with co-host Ish over some girl that they both messed with, and they were yelling. Joe was throwing stuff, having a tantrum on his podcast. The only thing I just want to say right now, and then King, I'll let you get into it because I know you know the logistics of everything. How can it seems like they already have some type of animosity before this whole argument went down because it just was so intense. And then like, why are they co-hosting together if they don't even like each other like that? If Ish knows that Joe's a liar, why are you on his show? Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like little things like that where it's like, you guys, it's just not like good energy. I don't know. It just was a little messy to me.
Yeah.
Because people love drama. And guess what? People are paying attention to the show even more because of the tea. And what's so funny is they both calling each other emotional. Well, if neither one of y'all cared about this female, why is she even a subject? Why is she even being talked about? So both of y'all know that y'all had this discussion off air and on air. This ain't the first time this conversation has come up, but this is how people sometimes front about something they don't want to admit to. So one of them lying or both of them lying, and then they're doing it for the camera. So all the throwing it, we got to get the views. That's how I get my bag. It's entertainment, and you guys are entertained, and that's why we're talking about it right now because we was entertained. You know what I mean? But to disrespect a young lady like that, I feel like that was a sucker move because y'all could have just y'all didn't have to call her a sewer rat, trash, all that because that woman got a family and everything, right. And people who know you, who you talking about. So you got to be careful how you talk to people, and how you treat people, because when you talk to people like that and you treat people like that, aren't you being trash too? So what's the difference between you and the person you're talking about?
Yeah. So I just think, I'm just going to say it. I can't wait for the day when men are being men. That was so uncalled for. You know what I mean? Like, as a grown as man in this industry, you could have handled things so much different. And like you said, calling her out her name. Come on, man.
That was unnecessary.
Right. It was unnecessary. Another thing that was unnecessary is people taking people's money. Kenan Thompson, he had an accountant when he was with Nickelodeon doing like all that Good Burger and stuff like that. And he hired the accountant because the accountant helped his mom and dad with some taxes. So he was like, okay, well, since they helped them out with their tax situation, I'm going to hire them to do my accountant stuff. So the accountant actually stole $1.5 million from him. And he went broke. He only had enough money to pay his rent. He didn't have a job for about 6 months because with acting, gigs come and go. So his next job was 6 months later on Love Don't Cost a Thing with Nick Cannon, which he was grateful for. But it's just like, you really have to have a microscope on people who are in your circle when you get to that caliber, because I don't know where this accountant's at, but I hope he's in jail because he was wrong for taking $1.5 million from that young actor who, was at the height of his career. Like, he was at his peak at that time because everybody knew Kenan. Like, his face was everywhere. So it sucks that he did go through that, but I'm glad that he was able to bounce back and he's still able to, be hired and be the famous actor that he is.
Yeah. So I just encourage every parent that's trying to get their kid into the industry, or just people in general, make sure you study the industry, because it's a business. It's not, oh, I'm going to get on the carpet and do this. Oh, I'm going to be on set of this show. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get an award for this. It's not that. It's not just that. Those are the fun things about it. But behind the scenes, the business, if you don't look at this as a business, you will definitely get taken advantage of. It's a lot of people out here in Hollywood that always be like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. I can bring you in endorsements and all this stuff like that. But their endorsement money is going straight, your endorsement money is going straight to them. And sometimes you really need to understand contracts, you know? So I encourage everybody that's trying to break into this industry, lawyer up, find a lawyer that you trust, do some due diligence. Don't just hop on the first entertainment lawyer that you run into. Look at their track record. How many cases have they won? Who was their clientele? You know, so to alleviate those type of situations, you have to really look at this as a business, because they're looking at it as a business. And if they see one little hole they can slip their behind into, they're gonna do that, and they're gonna take advantage of you, and you're gonna be looking crazy. I'm sorry, and he's such a good guy too. Keenan is such a good guy.
I'm gonna echo Sarina. Show business. Business is the longer word. And I feel in our culture, we have to be more educated when it comes to finances. Keenan's not the first person to be taken advantage of. We hear stories about DLC and how their records deal with bad and all these other artists. So when are we going to make sure that we're more educated on finances? And I get that Keenan was like, hey, I'm going to listen to my mom, and I'm going to follow the same person who helped our parents out. But our parents don't know everything. And the reason why I can speak on that personally was, love you, mom, don't kill me. But my mom was using the person for her taxes. She was like, baby, they can do your taxes. I was like, all right, cool. And when the person did my taxes, I wound up having identity theft. And my taxes got messed up and I couldn't do my taxes. And I'm still right now to this day getting my taxes straightened out because of my mom's recommendation. And even though my mom meant good, it's not my mother's fault. It's my fault because I didn't do my due diligence on the person that my mother sent me to for myself. So my laziness of not willing to do the homework cost me identity theft. So should I be mad at my mom for the recommendation? Or should I take responsibility for myself about not paying attention? So I went to school and I started taking accounting classes. I hate accounting. But the reason why I did the accounting classes, so I can have some type of idea. If I looked at my books, I would have some type of understanding. So I believe as a culture, we need to work on becoming more financially literate, so that way we can avoid the same old story happening to us. But I believe it's a great lesson. Keenan is so talented and amazing. I believe that he's going to be blessed in the long run. Even when people try to do you wrong, I think the blessing will come back. But at the same time, I believe it was a $1.5 million lesson that he'll never forget, and he'll never make that same mistake. So we can learn from our brother Keenan, so that way we don't have to go through the same thing. We don't have to keep repeating the same mistakes that we see others can go through. We can get more educated and we can do better. And then we can pass that education down to our children.
Absolutely. And I want to kind of toggle off that just a little bit. You know how sometimes you get in the industry and people say, oh, well, if you don't do this, then you can't get this opportunity. Every opportunity is not a good opportunity. That's even with the business standpoint. You know, every person that says they're a financial advisor is not a good financial advisor, you know. So it's imperative that you do your due diligence on these people, because there's a lot of sharks out here. And it's crazy because we've seen TLC, we've seen Backstreet Boys, we've seen so many people in the entertainment industry get taken advantage of.
Wendy Williams, she just spoke out about it.
Right. And people are still not taking heed to that.
Yeah, which means we're not taking, like you say, we're not taking finances serious. How does this keep? Because we're not doing the due diligence to do something about it. And a problem will always be a problem until we take the time to solve it. So we're being penalized for our laziness, our ignorance, and we can do better in that, because can't nobody take away what we put up in here.
Absolutely.
Because Wendy Williams literally said, if it happened to me, it can happen to you. So yeah, we definitely have to be aware of like what's going on at all times, especially when it comes to money, like just life period, because you just never know who is really gonna like do you wrong or take advantage of you. Even if they mean well, they could have the sweetest face ever, nicest personality, and they can be the devil. They can literally be the devil.
And that's discernment. No, I'm just saying that's where your gift for discernment come in. If you feel something ain't right, walk away.
And it's funny because it's just not Keenan's situation. It could be the minute thing that you're not paying attention to. They actually have apps that track what you're paying for. You might have an old Netflix account that's still open. You might have an old gym membership. You might have an old bill that you don't know where you're paying $25, $75 a month still, and you ain't even using the product. But because you ain't went through your history of your finances to see where your money's actually going, you're still paying for something that you're not even using anymore, and you don't even know. And you've been paying on that thing for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And that might not be 1.5, but that's definitely money that you could be using for something else. So we got to pay attention to our finances. We got to start doing a better job of tracking it, especially me included.
No, you're exactly right. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, have you guys heard what happened to Floyd Mayweather?
No.
So he was about to buy his dream house in Beverly Hills. And what happened was he was going through the paperwork and they got to the closing table and his lawyer looked over his contract again. And basically what they were saying was, if you get this house down the line, I'm going to get whatever percent from the house off of you. So it was a whole big thing. And that was his dream home. And he did not go through because he had an amazing lawyer that dotted the I's and crossed the T's.
Yeah. And to bounce back off of what you were saying, King, with like knowing your finances and knowing like you could be spending money somewhere else. I recently downloaded an app. It's called like Bill Manager. And I went through like all my transactions to see what's the constant transactions, what I'm spending on, because some of these like random Apple, I'm like, what all these charges? I'm like, I need to see what I'm really getting charged. I'll be able to cut some fees out. Like, what am I not using? I don't use Adobe like that. Like
hey, look, I went to my T-Mobile bill. When I did that? Oh, hey, hello. When did this happen? Oh, we're sorry. I bet you really are. You know, got to pay attention because they paying attention to what we not paying attention to. I tell you that. And it's a multi-million-dollar business of sneaky charges on your account that you're not even paying attention to.
And adding extra fees. Like the charges have went up. Like especially like the streaming platforms, they used to be like $4.99 and $7.99. Now they're like $19.99. Like sheesh.
Gotta pay attention, y'all.
Yeah, but this was an amazing episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am Gentel Sharrie.
I'm Sarina Renee.
I'm your boy, King Jaquel Martin.
And this was Culture Minute.
It is.